Okay, we're back. Okay. So what is the Scrum Master responsibility? As I already mentioned, Scrum Master responsibility is setting up the team and conducting the sprint meetings and taking the status from every team member. If any team member has a problem, he is not able to perform the task and he needs some help, he will provide all the help to complete that task by a team member. That's he will always there to support you to finish that task. What help you need, he will know. Maybe you need to talk to different teams. He will pull all the teams and he will help you to get the information for you. So that's our Scrum Master responsibility. So as a product owner, what he will do? So product owner creates the product backlog, as I already mentioned. So he will prioritize the product backlog and he is responsible for delivery of the functionality at each iteration. Each iteration is nothing but each sprint. Each iteration is a one sprint. So product owner gets the requirements and user stories from the customers and he will deliver them. He will make sure it is delivered on time, which is most important. Scrum team. Scrum team means, as I mentioned, so development and testing team. So whatever the task assigned to you, you should finish them within the sprint period. So as I mentioned again, product backlog. Product backlog is a repository where the requirements are tracked with the details on the number of requirements to be completed for each release. It should be maintained and prioritized by the product owner and Scrum Master. They will discuss, but generally product owner and Scrum Master will take care of that. Which one first needs to be taken care, needs to be developed, needs to be tested. So first they will decide. Before coming to sprint planning meeting, they will discuss, they will plan, then they will discuss that in the sprint planning meeting. So what is the testing process in the Scrum testing process in the Agile methodology? So once the task is assigned to you in the sprint planning meeting day, then user stories are used for development of test cases. User stories are written by the product owner, right? Product owner will write the user stories. User stories are short description of functionality of the system under test. For example, insurance provider is, so premium can be paid using online system. So before it is not there, now they implemented that. That's a one user story. Test cases are developed based on the user stories. So user story means what? A short description of functionalities of the system under test. Basically application, functionality. So description will be there in the user story. And who will create the test cases? Test design. Testers. So this is the crucial responsibility, as I mentioned yesterday also. So the first you can tell the testing process in the Agile methodology is participating in all the Agile ceremonies, then understanding the user stories and creating the test cases. Then you must, once a test case design is done, you must ask to review those test cases. So you can ask, review them by a product owner or a business analyst. Somebody has to review. They should approve. Okay, these test cases are correct. You have written correct. You should approve them. Then only you can execute the test cases. So that's the first verification process I mentioned. Again, I'm repeating the same steps yesterday, what I explained. Once you, this, before going to this, first you should prepare the environment. You should have an environment to execute the test cases. So Test execution is carried out in the lab where both tester and developer work hand in hand. So you will closely work with the developers. Testers will closely work with a development team. And then once you get the environment with a new build, new core functionality, you will start executing the test cases. First, you will perform the smoke testing, then you will execute one by one test cases. And also yesterday, I haven't seen anybody explaining about smoke testing, unit testing, retesting, regression testing, all. Janani, I think you missed them, even Bhargavi also.
Yeah, I didn't give a detailed explanation on it, I guess.
Yeah, please go through that. Those all definitions are crucial.
Okay, sure.
Mandatory interview questions, those are all.
Okay.
Smoke testing, retesting, regression testing, mandatory interview questions, those are all. So please go through them. By heart them until you understand that. Multiple times, if you read, it will come. Okay. So nothing is going to be. I'm not telling first day itself you have to read and you need to get everything. But daily you read them until you get them. Make your own notes, and from our videos, you know, make some important points and practice that. Okay. So once you execute that smoke testing is done, then you are executing one by one test case. If your test case fails, you will report the defects in the defect management tool. So as I mentioned, defect management tools also you guys missed it. Jira, Bugzilla, ALM, Rally, these are the defect management tool where you will report the defects. You can write the test cases also. You can write the test case in the Excel sheet. You can write the test case in the Confluence space. You can write the test case in the tools also. Okay. So all these points, make a note. And once you raise the defects, and immediately generally in the agile process, there is a daily scrum meeting, right? In the scrum meeting itself, the defects will be discussed, or separately also they will conduct. You will inform, I raised these many bugs, so who is working on that, any update on the defects, you can ask in the meeting itself. And then, so if you need immediate attention, you can set up a meeting with, you can talk to Scrum Master and your manager and product one, they will immediately join the call. If it is a crucial defect, you should not wait for tomorrow again for meeting. Immediately you have to set up a call and discuss that defect and pull the development team and he explain how you got the defect. So that's the process we are going to follow. And if defects are fixed by the development team, then the development team will deploy that fix in the environment and he will inform, okay, I fixed one bug, I deployed into this environment. So you can retest that. Then you can start retesting that. So once you retest, one iteration is done and you retested the defects, then you need to perform one more round of regression testing. Regression testing purpose is, okay, you are testing. Even developer also modifying the code. It may affect in another area. You modified in one area, but it may affect in another area. In order to ensure that, okay, unchanged areas are not having a new bugs. That is working as previously how it was working. So he didn't introduce a new bug again. When you tested first time, it was working. And if it is having one more new bug, that's a regression bug. But first time when you test, there is no bug in that area. But after a developer fix done in one area and it got affected in another area, That is called regression bug or regression testing. So you are going to ensure there are no new bugs introduced in unchanged areas of the application when the developer makes a modification to the application. The unchanged areas should work as per expectation. How previously it was working, same way it should work. That's how you explain, okay? Your own words you can frame and explain, but meaning should come like that. So that is the regression testing. Once the regression testing is done, you can give a sign of manual testing, sign of this, all manual testing. Then there is a automation testing also. You want to do automation also, then first you should do manual testing. From where you are starting, test case design onwards. That's the first and foremost responsibility of a tester. Without test cases, you cannot come here. Step one, you cannot skip that. So this is the crucial. And then automation. So once you at least one round of testing you have performed. So completed. Then you will start automating the test cases. So manual test case itself, you will do automation. So automation is nothing but you will use a tool and some programming language to write the automation test case, which is repeatable scenario. You will automate that. Every day you don't need to test manually. You automate once automatically. So you trigger the automation that will run for you. Even you don't need to run also every day. You don't need to sit and run the test case. There are tools that will trigger automatically for you. Everything automation means your intervention is very, very less. After execution, you will see the results. If any test case fails, you have to analyze. That's your responsibility in the automation. See, a lot of work will be reduced for you if you have automation for these test cases. Instead of manually testing, this will reduce effort for you. That's automation. And so sprint meeting is held at the beginning of the every day, just 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour maximum. And we will discuss last 24-hour tasks, what you have done, and what is the next task, today's what you are going to do, and any obstructions or any impediments are there which is stopping your testing or your activity, you can bring them to Scrum Master notice in the meeting. So that's the entire testing process in the Agile methodology. Any questions?
So release contests like 4 sprints.
Yeah. 4 or 5 sprints. So one release, it depends on the company to company, it will vary. And we are following 3 months, one plan iteration, right? So every 3 months we have a release. Release means all the teams code will be deployed to production. So this PA iteration I told, right? That PA iteration will go 4 to 5 sprints. That means 4 into 2 weeks. Right? 8. So you 8 weeks, that's a development and everything will happen, all those. And then testing it will take, and then deployment. Deployment before at least 15 days, freezing will happen. So you're not going to do anything. The testing will continue, but make sure it's a signed off. Then only you can move that code to production. Otherwise, you should not move that code. If not tested, it is a buggy product. You are the develop, even see the manager is not going to allow.
Ramesh, once more now.
Yeah.
That means in entire project, in like entire project, one sprint will comes like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
For example, consider one. There will be multiple plan iterations will be there, right?
Multiple,
PIs.
not PAs. PA is one time only it will have. PA is the plan iteration. One time only it will happen every 3 months. One PA iteration will happen. Plan iteration.
After the next, like one that particular iteration was completed, the next PI will be done
3
newly,
months.
right?
After 3 months.
3 to 4 months. Yeah. Okay.
So, but a sprint is every 15 days after.
Okay.
Sprint is every 15 days after next sprint. Next sprint. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So sprint burn down. Any other questions before moving on? So there are a sprint burn down charts here. You can see here. Sprint burn down chart and sprint burn up charts. Okay. So before that, sprint burn down chart means each day Scrum Master will record the estimated remaining work for the sprint. Okay, how much work is completed and how much is pending. That will be recorded by the Scrum Master and in the tool. So this is nothing but a burn down chart. It is updated daily. That's the burn down chart. Basically, number of hours he is updating. So that's the burn down chart means. And process flow of Scrum. See, this is the process flow of Scrum testing is like this, okay? Each iteration of Scrum is known as a sprint. Each iteration of a Scrum is called sprint. What is a sprint definition? Each iteration of a Scrum is called sprint. What is product backlog? It's a repository where all the features and user stories will be listed out and prioritized by product owner and Scrum Master. That's the answer you have to give. So team works on the defined sprint backlog and team checks for the daily work. At the end of the sprint, team delivers the product functionality. That's the flow will be there. Okay. So here all I have given all the definitions. I already discussed this. Product backlog. Epic is nothing but a feature. So it is the complete feature or requirement which needs to be implemented. So a epic or a feature can contain multiple user stories. An epic is split into user stories based on the complexity of work in order to develop that. So to make more easy, epic will be divided into different user stories. That's the user story means. User story is nothing but a description of the functionality of the application. So a new requirement. So that will be described, explained. That's a user story. Story points is a measurement to define the complexity of user story. So in perspective of dev and QA. Okay. Okay. You want to complete the user story. Okay. How many hours you need to complete? That measurement is called story points. So this activity will be done in the sprint planning meeting, as I mentioned already. Okay. Burn down chart, just now we mentioned, is a pictorial graphical representation of time and work. So how much time left? So that will be recorded by the Scrum Master. So that's the main terminologies. You should know this. Okay. Any questions before stopping here?
When a sprint, so what the task we have at the story points completed within like 5 days or 4 days.
Based on the story points, you should complete.
Yeah, if you complete early.
See, they will give one more task.
Okay.
So maybe they will assign, if it is a small user story, they will assign one more user story.
No, based on the complexity, the
Complexity.
completed status was completed within like 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah,
So remaining 3 days, we have buffer time, right?
buffer time, maybe you
We utilize the
you need to
approval for
utilize for other tasks
like documentation work and all of that.
or whatever it is.
Okay.
Until that is no, the same thing, the same user story is not completed, irrespective of so documentation, anything, you should not say completed. Everything is successfully completed and tested and thoroughly done, then only you will move that to completed status. You don't have a option to move completed. Only Scrum Master will move that.
Okay.
You will just say completed, done. But the completely done status is done by the Scrum Master. Once you give a demo, then only they will allow.
Yeah.
They will move that to done. Otherwise, you are not allowed to do that. Is this clear or any doubts? I'm just stopping here.